Yeah.
Good. Now, we're walking into the wrong live stream. Apparently, we're going to be talking Yellowstone or some Western, maybe Cowboy and Aliens. I know that Omar was a real big fan of that, which came out in the late 90s, starring some lot of old dudes like Tommy Lee Jones.
A lot of old dude, hold on to your butts. Buckos, is that how they say it? We're here to talk about She-Hulk.
Yes. Good evening.
I was moving things around, so I was like, I'm gonna put the hat on today. I can't sit. How do cowboys sit on a seat? I guess cowboys
don't sit on seats. They sit on bar stools. They sit on bar stools.
They sit on horses.
Oh, and bar stools after they've got done riding to their destination and a nice long beer.
There we go. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Near Mint Condition, a channel where you can be, I can't remember what the astonishing Melanie says, but it's something really positive and encouraging.
Positivity. That's what we're going into this episode with. Good evening, all you middays.
We are here to talk about She-Hulk, episode 1. So if you have not seen this, by all means, go and watch it. Or if you don't care, stick around. We're going to be reviewing the first episode. We're going to be filled with spoilers, talking about some Easter eggs, what we hope to see from this season. Streaming on Disney Plus. I am the Uncanny Omar, and I'm just ready to talk. And that is my lovely host. I'm just a co-host. I don't know what the hell I'm doing introducing myself.
You just started. I was like, you know what?
What a cowboy hat on, man. It just comes out.
Yeah, I was like, I'll let. That male domination just takes out when he wears that hat. So I'll just let you go.
All right. Let's do it.
Yes. And your host, the amazing Amanda. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Obviously, we usually would have done this on Friday, right after the day after it aired, but we had personal things. Personal things were going on. So we're doing it tonight.
Omar's got some great energy, dude. I am worked up. I've been drinking and building shelves all day long. So let's do it, brother.
And then he's going to come to my house and build my shelves that are coming tomorrow between 11 to 3.
Build the shelves. That's the time you're giving me, 11 to 3 to build your shelf.
No, that's when they come, and then you can build them after the fact. Yeah.
Well, I actually like building them. They're kind of my everybody has to have a Zen garden. My Zen garden is actually building shelves and cursing out every freaking thing because IKEA just assumes I know what I'm doing.
Yes, exactly. But IKEA should make it easy. Anyways, I'm rolling on my sleeves.
I just realized that. Loving Omar's like I was.
That's amazing. I did not anticipate that.
They do look pretty good. They do look pretty good, but that looks. There we go. That's actually more accurate.
Even though this is weird for me, I don't like to be on that side, but it's fine. No, you keep it. We keep it so you don't look like you got.
I'm just gonna keep looking at my legs all evening, and I do shave my legs. Yes, I use 2 for soccer. Just saying, or football.
Soccer. To make you run faster.
That's what the coach told us, or maybe the coach was a little bit weird with shaved legs. But that's a whole nother episode and a whole nother channel. Welcome to Near Mint Condition.
Yes, today we're talking about She-Hulk, episode 1. This episode, they're only half hours. There's 9 episodes total. So while we're getting more than our typical Marvel TV show, they are still, it's like a half-hour comedy. And unlike the rest of Marvel's shows, this one is being labeled an outright comedy, not just a suspense with comedy or thriller with comedy or drama with comedy. It is supposed to be an outright comedy, much like something like Ally McBeal, for example, which I feel like this definitely takes inspiration from, considering that it is She-Hulk Attorney at Law. They actually, I think, redid the title. Go ahead.
Did Ally McBeal break the 4th wall? Did she talk to the camera?
They did break the 4th wall on Ally McBeal, correct.
Wow, the unstoppable bars here. She is loving her hair. I was just telling how good her hair looked.
Thank you. That's just, I washed it, threw it in some braids, and then took it out before the show.
Look at that. Amanda looked very different in new hair.
No, my lips are just a little chapped right now because I didn't put on chapstick all day, so they are redder than usual. But thank you.
Nobody said anything about the hat. Nobody said anything about the hat. No, how hard it took me to find that hat. Anyway. Yes, this is the first episode of She-Hulk. It is the new MCU show. We got a trailer. Oh man, it was about a couple of weeks ago that we got it. Kind of showed us the new touched up CG. Before that, a few months ago, everybody was busting on how bad the CG looks. So we are going to be talking about that, and of course, reviewing the episode as a whole. So the plot.
Yeah,
out of nowhere, we are introduced to a cousin. I
Jennifer
guess.
Walters. Yeah.
These people have cousins. Okay.
Yeah.
Jennifer
Well, I
Walters.
mean, it makes sense. These people all can't be a bunch of orphans, even though I think that's what they mentioned. They made fun of in
Got fired
Ms.
at
Marvel.
Batman already.
But yeah, so
Sound like a kid hopped up on candy. I guess that's what happens when I drink all day and I put up shelves.
he's
Kid
been
on
looking
candy.
at IKEA instructions, so you can imagine.
I don't
Anyway,
need it. I'm a pro, baby. I don't need instructions.
oh, he just knows it by heart.
Drugs.
So the show introduces us to Jennifer Walters, who immediately breaks the fourth wall within the first intro. She is an attorney who is about to give her closing arguments for a case that she's working on with her fellow attorney, Drew, and her paralegal, Nikki Sanchez. Nope. Gomez, Ramos. No, God, I feel really bad right now.
Right. I don't have a gift for that one. So
No. And
I'm going to use a
immediately
placeholder
after
gift.
she is practicing her closing argument, they're about to go out, and so she can give her closing arguments. She immediately breaks the fourth wall to tell us, about the little side note that Nikki gave about her hulking out. So, of course, this leads her most of the episode, which is a flashback of her many months before with Bruce Banner, who is now back to regular Bruce. Smart Hulk is gone. He's wearing some kind of a bracelet that controls his hulking out, but he still has the broken arm from Endgame. So we know that this flashback takes place probably not long after all the events of Endgame.
Or maybe I was thinking after the events of the Shang-Chi, right? Because at the end of the Shang-Chi, he still had
it too. So it could be somewhere in there.
So
yes. Yeah. And so they're driving on a California coastal. Is it California? Yeah, they're driving somewhere on kind of like a ledged road, and a Sakaran Class 8 courier craft comes out of nowhere and drops down in front of them, which of course causes her to steer out of control. They tumble down, they crash, and we get this weird thing where Bruce is trying not to turn because his little thing's broken, but then he's also bleeding. She's bleeding. Their blood mixes into her, and she becomes She-Hulk. And of course, go ahead.
Let's put a little break right here, because this is something that on first watch I had an issue with. I'm like, that's kind of a stupid way to turn into She-Hulk, because he has bled before and touch other people. But then I was like, okay, comic book science, maybe it's because they're related and they share the same kind of genes, so that it only affects that. Okay, so sure, that flies. In the comic books, for that matter, it was a little more ridiculous. David Bruce Banner at the time, gave her blood because she got shot. And whoops, side effects. Here we have the Savage She-Hulk. And that was a nice little Easter egg, too, when they were calling her the Savage Jennifer Walters.
Yes.
Did she say, I don't have a Savage Jennifer? That's what she said. I don't have a Savage.
Let me see that Savage.
Nice.
Like, what?
Nice. That was a nice little touch. We're not going to have a Savage She-Hulk in there. Well, we may. But yeah, I thought at first I was like, oh, that's kind of ridiculous. But I'm like, okay, well, the comic book origin is really ridiculous too. So let's just. All right. Sorry, I had to pause there for a second to talk.
Yeah, you're fine. And so, of course, as she turns, she blacks out. When she wakes up, she's somewhere in the middle of nowhere. She goes to a bar to clean up. She's all disheveled. And after a couple of ladies in the bathroom help her clean up, she manages to use one of their phones to call Bruce. She's one of the few people who remembers someone's phone number, I guess. And she is waiting for him outside of the bar. Some men approach her, and she doesn't like what they're putting down, and she hulks out. But of course, luckily, Bruce gets there before she can do anything to those men. And of course, she knocks out again when she's back. When she awakes, now she is in this little private island science lab that Tony actually helped Bruce create during the blip. That is where he used to become the merge between Bruce Banner and the Hulk, becoming the Smart Hulk we saw in Endgame. And he makes that, nice bittersweet joke about how Tony said that he was going to, take it back one day, which is kind of sad. And so, of course, throughout this whole thing, he's telling Jennifer she can't go back to her old life. She is now the Hulk because of their unique genetic, mutations they have, or their unique genetic makeup. They have this ability to turn into these Hulks, but he has to help her control it because he thinks she's going to be very similar to him in that when she hulks out, a different personality takes over that is savage that is, out of control.
Mhm.
And he needs to help her learn to control that person. So as he does tests with her, comes to find out she actually doesn't have an alternative personality. It is just Jennifer becoming the Hulk every time she gets angry or upset or anything like that. So now he's trying to focus on her helping to control her anger. And as they're going through this, they're doing a number of exercises, which, she is called meditation. The bathroom.
Okay, yeah, bathroom. Okay, can we talk about the bathroom scene? Because
you mean the bathroom scene when the girls walk in asking them what was wrong?
because any woman I've ever helped, like, I'm not gonna say any names, but the last time we went out together, Amanda, I was helping one of our friends out in the bathroom that was really sick. And
True.
immediately the women all come together. Oh, what do you need, honey? Like, I'm like, man, men don't take care of each other like this.
True.
What the heck? They see me drunk puking on the freaking
yeah.
toilet. They leave you alone. And
Yeah.
that's not the first time that's happened. Like, I remember a couple of years ago, the same thing happened to one of my friends. She got really sick and I was helping her. And then all of a sudden, all these women, they just flocked together. I'm like, sisterhood. Nice.
Yeah. I mean, so far. I mean, they're going to talk about it behind her back later. But yes.
Wow. What was that part of the show?
Women, I know how these things are.
Okay,
I've helped other women in the bathroom who are crying over something.
And then you talk
and
about
then we all go back and be like, man, then you're all talking about it because that's how it is.
You know what? Never mind. I'll take it back. Men are okay. Leave me alone next to a toilet. I'm good. Just don't talk about me behind my back.
It's very, yeah. So basically, he's trying to help her manage her anger. And of course, she mentioned a couple of times how she's always in control of her anger because of all these outside influences of being a woman. And then he's going on and on about how she needs to become a superhero, but she doesn't want to become a superhero. All she wants to do is go back to her regular life and be an attorney and have friends. She doesn't want to be Bruce Banner, part of a government contractor squad. She doesn't want to lose all her friends and family and have nothing. Damn, that's harsh. But I guess Bruce doesn't really he has her, so I don't know what she was talking about. Regardless, they have the whole flashback is them going through this training. And of course, her not wanting to stay there while he's trying to explain to her the greater responsibility they have because of their powers, which she's not into. So of course, all of this leads to her wanting to leave. She tries to leave. He tries to stop her. And then we get this big old nice Hulk v. Hulk fight. And they kind of destroy, the island a little bit until they finally, Bruce finally lets her go and comes to terms with it. We get another fourth wall break there where she actually directly tells the audience that he's not okay with it. And he doesn't mean that. And then she drives off. We're back to present day. We're going to call it present day, where she's back inside of the courtroom scenario. And again, she's like, see, this is the attorney show. We're good. I'm not the Hulk. I don't have to Hulk out. And she goes into the courtroom after the closing arguments from the opponent's side are given. She stands up, getting ready to give her closing arguments. And then chaos in the courtroom. Titania shows up out of nowhere, breaks the wall down. And of course, her paralegal's like, time to Hulk out. So of course she hulks out, knocks Titania out. And then we get that, awesome of her.
That goofy, amazing flying kick.
Oh yeah.
Okay, if this is the kind of action that we're gonna see out of the show, I guess this is where they're going. I kind of dig that. I mean, it's not to be taken seriously, but I assume people would understand that with the breaking of the fourth wall and some of the lines that are delivered and talking about, her obsession over Captain America's virginity and all that. I assume that's what the show is going to be. So
exactly. I think we can expect that. And so of course, yeah, she's like, all right, I'm ready to give my closing arguments. We cut to the end credits and then we get
Eve, right? Who's that girl?
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I have that written. We get Eve's Who's That Girl, which I've been listening to a lot of like late 90s, early 2000s stuff.
I love that album. Eve's album. Oh my gosh, I love that album. But I'm not here to review that album. What?
No, Eve's amazing.
I thought you said she's okay. I was like, that's back when she was.
Oh no, Eve's amazing. I could care less that she did that. A lot of stuff with Gwen Stefani because I don't know everybody.
Oh gosh, I thought you were going to tell me she was.
Gwen Stefani's a little
overrated. I haven't seen Eve for a long time. I blame Gwen Stefani though.
Oh, I did. Oh, well. Okay. Side note. I know this is way off topic, but she was in a show about it was on ABC about a bunch of women who were part of like a one-hit wonder girl group. R&B girl group. Brandy was also in it, the singer Brandy. They were in a girl group together that broke up after some big drama, But then she left the show because she got pregnant in real life and didn't want to continue. So, but she was really good in it. Anyways,
rewind a little bit. What propaganda did we miss? Was there propaganda? By the way, propaganda in Espanol
right.
means
So,
commercial.
we're going to talk about, obviously, he's talking about all the comments she made about women and men and all her anger being placed in a certain area. We'll talk about that because I have thoughts on it. So we will talk about it, but I just wanted to give a quick synopsis without going into detail because we're going to give our thoughts after the end of the synopsis. So don't worry. We will talk about everything that we have to talk about. It's not about glossing over. It's about me just getting through the synopsis because, yeah, there we go. And Omar's on mute talking to someone else right now. So we're going to keep going.
Sorry, somebody came down here and was telling me what propaganda actually meant. I was wrong.
Oh, good. Okay.
In Spanish, it means commercial. In America, it means something else. Boy, I messed that one up.
So anyway, then we get the end credit scenes where she's pretending to be drunk, asking about Captain America because she's so sad that he died a virgin. And then, of course, Hulk finally tells her, no, he didn't. He had sex with a girl in 1943 during the USO tour. Completely possible. I mean, and there we go. So that was the first episode of She-Hulk, which went really fast. It is only half an hour.
You said 30 minutes, really?
I think so. Maybe it was a little bit longer, but it felt like 30 minutes. It didn't feel like an hour-long show.
Okay. So let's talk about some of these things that people are very divided in the chat about the show, and it's interesting because when I was going to watch it, I don't know, maybe I don't look for these things. All right, let's talk about this first episode. Let's talk about the things we didn't like, things we liked. What did not work for me, bruh?
Oh God, okay. You're stealing mine, bruh. Didn't work for me either. What the hell, man?
We're talking about the same thing, Hulk.
He's in his 40s or 50s.
Okay, first of all, there's nothing wrong with men in their 40s saying bra.
No, but regardless.
Depends on the context. Just saying. Anyway, so my issue with that is that, we've been shown Hulk, and you know how I felt about Hulk after Infinity War. I thought there was a really missed opportunity for Hulk in Endgame. I have not liked Mark Ruffalo's comedic timing. I know that's what they were trying to play at since Thor Ragnarok. He's just not good at it. So why not have a straight character and then She-Hulk be your comedic person, right? Like that, I think that would work better off of each other that way, instead of both of them cracking jokes. And I get it, it's fun to feed off of somebody else, but I think Hulk being the straight man that is super smart, and especially if he refers to himself as
Smart Hulk.
Smart Hulk? Is that what he calls himself?
He said he can't control the names. Mm-hmm. He can't control the names, but yeah, he calls himself Smart Hulk.
Yeah, okay, so Smart Hulk, right?
Yeah.
It's just some of the quips that he has, it's just really weird to see him act like that. And I like Mark Ruffalo. I really liked him after taking over Ed Norton in Avengers. I was like, this guy's really good. And he's playing a hell of a Bruce Banner. I kind of like his Bruce Banner. And I did like his Bruce Banner more than I did Ed Norton's take on Bruce Banner. And then, of course, the CGI Hulk with his face and everything. That worked. So my issue was with that. I didn't think they needed that in the show. I think it could have just been the Hulk helping her, and then her being the funny one. She's the one that gets to break the fourth wall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
What about you? That's one thing I did not like. What about you? What did not work for you in this show?
So one of the things that didn't work for me are some of the scenes with CGI, and it's weird because I felt like the CGI on Hulk was fine, but on her there's some close-ups, particularly like when they did a close-up of her right before she attacked like Titania, for example, and she's talking, and it just seemed off to me. And I don't know if it's that they're just trying to get used to doing CGI for her character, whether she has the hair, so it's a little bit different than with the Hulk or not, but it was a little off-putting for me. And I could see why some people would complain about some of the CGI in the show, because there were scenes where she looked a little cartoonish, her CGI in particular. And also there were some perspectives that where it seemed like she was in some scenes, she seemed like she was as tall when she was the Hulk as the Hulk. In others, she's still, the ratio seemed like he was looking down on her more. So it was a little off on those areas when I was watching. So that didn't sit well with me either, but I'm hoping that in further episodes that improves. So that's one of the big issues that I had with it going in the get-go.
So Pezzy's saying cousins just talking to one another. I don't know, works for me. Okay, I mean, put it that way, I guess.
I don't know how close they are. I guess that's the hard part. They're having to develop a relationship between the two of them where they can be.
No, you weren't, Paul. Nobody was proud of him as a bra.
I don't know. I mean,
okay, that part did not work for me.
It did not work for me either. It was just so, I don't know. It just didn't seem out of place.
Some of the humor that kept coming back, I thought was a little too much. Not really for me. It didn't really make me laugh out loud. I genuinely had fun watching it, right? If it's a comedy, I don't know. I'm really harsh with comedy.
Yeah.
I love things by Mel Brooks or Monty Python. You can't make movies like that anymore. So I really don't know what is labeled a comedy anymore.
Yes.
Right? And if this is labeled a comedy, then yeah, sure, I laughed a couple of times and I had fun watching it. I did not laugh my butt off or anything. I thought it was a cute little ending with her at the end. Captain America, when she was pretending to be drunk, I thought that was, cute. Didn't laugh my butt off.
Cute.
Yeah, I like her though. I think she's a very likable character, and honestly,
she's what worked for me, definitely.
She reminds me a lot of the way that John Byrne wrote her character in She-Hulk, Sensational She-Hulk, which this really, really borrows a lot from. Which is what? No, I did not want Hulk. Has he dabbed? Does that happen? I can't remember. Why does that
he did it in Endgame, and again we were like, oh, okay, what the heck?
I need to go back to this comic because I am really confused about this comment right here from Synth. Because I am trying to understand. It's okay not to like a show. I get it. Honestly, it's cringe feminism, guys. Okay, first of all, the show is based on a comic book called She-Hulk, and she was written that way, right? Like to show the difference between Hulk and She-Hulk. I don't know which run you've read, so I don't know what you were expecting. It doesn't matter if you're on the left or right of politics. This show is wrong on so many levels politically, and the political agenda is too obvious. Dude, this is just my opinion. The last thing I'm thinking about is the goddamn polls that are open when I'm watching this show. I don't know which part of the show did I miss.
I think he doesn't mean political. I think it's a social agenda
social agenda.
That they're talking about. It's not a political agenda. Now, unfortunately, these days people merge political with social agendas. They're at this point they're combined, right? But essentially, it's more social. It's not. We're not really talking about politics.
I really am trying to
become social.
Look, I get it. Everybody has a difference of opinion, but I'm trying to understand comments like this. I think I'm missing something. That
here's the comment I was talking about. Like this is when I was watching the show. So as a woman, watching these shows, because I see comments and I'm seeing them in the chat right now so often. Immediately, it's so woke because all the woman's talking about is how men are so bad and I have to do this because men are so evil. There's truth to a lot of those things. As a woman, catcalling does suck. I'm going to be honest with you. It does suck. I've worked in the federal government sphere where men do look down on you. Older men, when I was a project manager, talked down to me all the time. And they were so inept at their jobs. They just were retirees with plenty of good boy politics to go around. So I had to work a little bit harder. Yeah, it does suck. What I wish they would do is not only to make her a more well-rounded character and not only focus her arguments to Bruce about her female leanings. Like if she's angry and upset, like there's more that makes me angry and upset than what's going on socially in the world. That's just an easy cop out to make. And then, yes, pushes up a social agenda that the people in the chat right now are angry about.
Wait, are they talking about the part where... I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, especially when you're just...
Oh, no, you're fine.
Are they talking about the part where she says, I guess I'm better than you? Because I did not take that as a serious, like, that's the kind of crap I give my family.
No, I think they talked about all the comments she made. Like, so someone mentioned in the chat, like in the beginning when she's in the workplace, and Drew, which from what I've read, Drew is kind of an antagonist character in the comics too, her like
the guy,
her coworker who's you always have a coworker, right? He happens to be a man, but he basically is telling her, why don't you let me do the closing arguments? And then Nikki kind of shoves him out the door, like, no, she's fine, she can do it. Which of course he could have just said, hey, can I give you some pointers, instead of, no, just let me do it. Like, yeah, okay. I can see why I'd be turned off by him just saying, no, let me do it because you clearly are inept. Like, that's not the right way for him to approach it either. The second thing is when after she hulks out the first time and she's in the bar and those men are coming up to her and they won't leave her alone. That would piss me off too. After you say, no, thank you, leave me alone, that would make me mad too. Just go away. Okay. Stop coming at me. And then when she's doing a lot of the scenarios, like, okay, the one they always showed in the trailer when she's like, controlling my rage is something that as a woman, I'm used to doing, that comment. And then there's the other comments where she's kind of doing the kumbaya stuff with Bruce. And she's like, you don't understand. Like, I have to control my anger because I'm being catcalled every time a man, tries to stomp all over me at work, all that stuff. So all those little comments.
I got you.
Yeah. I think that's a lot of what people are looking at.
Okay. So
let's go in your face. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It is. But let's go back to the basics. David Anthony Kraft, who ended up writing the character of Savage She-Hulk, was talking about writing the character like that and then being approached by women at conventions going, thank you for understanding what it's like to be a woman. This is the source material. This is 1980, 1981 source material. We're talking about things that, this is based on. Of course, I think I understand now where people are coming from. I was literally just trying to understand where people were coming from with that. Okay.
Yeah, but that's why
I missed it because to me, it felt like,
and that's why I wish that I know there can be more to explain her anger than just it always is about being a woman, and that's what makes me angry. Like, there's lots of things that make me angry too that are not just being a woman, but that make me very angry.
Honestly, if that's the case with things like this, I got the same kind of vibe from Ally McBeal, and therefore Ally McBeal, I was not the target audience for Ally McBeal.
But it wasn't a Marvel show. It was like,
but not every Marvel show is for you. There's some stuff like,
I agree. I 100% agree with you.
There's things like Ms. Marvel that are obviously targeted towards kids. There are things like Moon Knight that are targeted towards nobody because it sucked balls. Yes, I said it. Moon Knight sucked. God, like it. So
it was very disappointing. Yes, Moon Knight was very disappointing.
All right, back to She-Hulk. Thank you for helping me understand what everybody was upset, or most people are upset about. Not everybody. I'm sorry. Okay, so in this particular episode, I thought it was fun. I liked her character. I think I understand the humor they're going for. So yeah, it was enjoyable.
Yeah. Overall, I enjoyed it. Like I said, the CGI was a little less than appealing for me, but someone in the chat said they had actually switched some episodes around or switched some of the, when they film things. So maybe the CGI will look a little bit different going forward in the next 8 episodes. So we do have 8 episodes of this too.
I actually liked the CGI. I didn't have an issue with it. But that's also because I had just finished watching Paper Girls. So this is like night and day.
Paper Girls was much worse than this.
The CGI in Paper Girls compared to this. So in this, my issue with Marvel CGI, right? Like, they always love to do it in the in daylight. So of course it's gonna make it look, the bad things stand out, right? Whereas as most of the DC shows are, I think DC really learned early on, keep the CGI fights in the dark. That way, you can do a lot of things there and completely mess up. I only like the CGI with the whole thunderclap.
I got that. I got you, thunderclap. There we go. Sorry. But and the whole thing about her being better than he is, I think that, there's a reason he said, come back when, whenever you feel like you need to. I think that she's arrogant where she thinks she doesn't need his help. I think that while she looks like she's better than him throughout the show, I think she's going to realize, and we're going to see that she isn't actually better than our Hulk. which we've only ever seen him, as in an ensemble cast. Anyways, so who's to say? But she will have to lean on him later for support. I believe in later episodes, especially with Abomination. We already know he is going to be in this show. We've seen him in the trailers. So, God, oh my God. I feel bad because I know there's people who, work really hard. They have jobs.
It's definitely not their fault.
And I know it is. I don't know what other things they've got going on. Marvel has an insane lineup. Unlike DC, you can't get their stuff straight. Marvel's had a lot.
House of Dragon. Yeah, we'll be reviewing that.
No, we will be reviewing that. Does that come out at 9 or 10?
Tonight at 9.
Tonight at 9 or 10.
Yeah. I'm curious. I'll be honest, Larry. I'm thinking the same thing when I was watching this. I wonder what John Byrne hates everything, by the way.
Oh, does he really?
I don't care. I love that man.
Talk about that.
I love his artwork. He will forever get a pass by me, no matter. I've seen him treat fans like crap, and he still got a pass by me because I love his artwork. That picture of Storm changed the way I thought. Anyway, I wonder what he thinks about this show because a lot of it comes from his issues. I thought like his sensational She-Hulk run. Mm-hmm. And I think they're going to borrow a lot of things from Dan Slott's run, which, that's another fan favorite. I thought it was okay. I still preferred John Byrne's. Let's see. What about the cast? What did you think about the supporting cast? We didn't really get to see that many.
We didn't get to see most of them. Even like Jamila Jamil, who plays Titania, we only saw her right at the end, right? That's all we see is her show up like that. And that's
what he's wearing.
I don't know. So I don't know. As far as this 40 cast is concerned, Banner did fine. I mean, it's Mark Ruffalo. It's what we expected from his Hulk at this point, given his character progression in the movies. And I like Tatiana Maslany. And I like her little paralegal sidekick, Nikki Ramos.
Yeah, they're best friends, right?
Yeah, best friends. Yeah. So I like her as well. But again, that's about it. I don't like that Sakaar Class 8 courier aircraft. I need to figure out what the hell that's about. And
did anybody else think Scar when they saw that? Anybody else? Amanda Red Planet Hulk. She should know who that is.
I did. Well, that's what a lot of people are like. Is this going to come back around? And this is how Hulk's going to end up with a Planet Hulk, or a World War Hulk is what I think, or something like that.
That's what people have been rumored to say. People have been. Yeah. I mean, people, are. How do I put this? People really want a Hulk. That's right. Thank you for that. A Hulk smash. Hulk. They want the character of Hulk back, right? It would be interesting to see if this show leads, because remember when you brought that up, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
No, there's no way that She-Hulk could lead into World War Hulk. But oh my gosh, it would be so funny if it did.
Oh, I think it will. I don't know what else it could lead into, because I was looking at I was trying to go back and remember what's coming out. Like this ends about the beginning of October, because it's a weekly show. So the beginning of October, we'll get, I'm assuming, the Halloween special, though they haven't announced it yet. Then we get a Guardians of the Galaxy. But then the next thing that comes out is Secret Invasion in the spring. That's the next show that they've announced coming out, like officially has a release date. So if there's something in between there we're not seeing, I don't know. But yeah, I was curious to see what that had to do with it and if it's going to come out at the end. But there's also the fact that Wong is supposed to appear in the last 8 episodes too. He's credited with
every episode after this?
On IMDb, he's credited with being in 8 out of the 9 episodes.
Omar and Amanda, I feel like people are taking comments from the show way too seriously. It's a fun half hour. Just enjoy it for what it is. Stop thinking about it. It means something. Okay, so really quick, guys, it's Sunday night. Relax. Go build a K-Lax.
Yeah, I got to get up and get my kid off to school in the morning.
Drink some beer. And it's just a show. If you didn't like it, I'm sorry. If it's not for you. If you liked it, cool. But yeah, no need to argue, right? We're not Marvel and DC.
Right.
Let them have it. Let them fight it out.
Yeah, but I mean, overall, I'm interested to see where this goes because I think it'll have a very procedural type of feel, like a lot of lawyer shows, comedy shows do, where you have like each episode will have a storyline that's kind of just siloed into that episode with maybe something overarching, like you see in a lot of half-hour comedies where they have each episode is its own story, but then it kind of there's one thing that's draws out. So I think that's what I'm expecting to see from the show. I'm looking forward to seeing where it takes us, especially because we have so many cameos. Like that's what she's going to be. We know what she's going to be doing after she hulks out, right? They're going to want her to represent supervillains, superheroes, etc. And so that's where we're going to see some of our guest stars. And we know that we see Daredevil. So yeah, I want to see where that goes and how they grow her character. I want to see what her character growth looks like too.
I like how quick her origin story was. Honestly,
yeah.
They throw her right in there. They don't waste any time. She trains and she's like, going back to lawyering. K-Lax at the store. I really, by the way, I mentioned K-Lax because I was drinking and building K-Laxes and the Tolves all day. So that's why I said everybody relax and enjoy.
Yeah.
Or relax with a K-Lax.
Exactly.
And this episode isn't even sponsored by freaking IKEA. Boy, I missed that chance. Let's see, 30-minute shows, 9 episodes. This is the one where Charlie Cox is supposed to come back and be Daredevil again, right? Except we're going with the yellow and red outfit.
Yeah.
I saw pictures of that. Interesting. And I assume his Daredevil will probably play a not dark Daredevil, right? Because I assume most of these episodes are going to be comedic and lighthearted.
It'll be. I bet he'll be in the same comedic vein as he was in Spider-Man: No Way Home. There was a lightness to his Matt Murdock in that, because he's with Peter and Happy, and so. Shockwave, this is an interesting comment. He said that very much enjoyed the episode. Don't know if you talked about it already because I joined late, but supposedly the first episode was supposed to come later on. And everyone has said it picks up. So it's interesting. So originally they thought they were going to, maybe they thought they wanted to do the flashback later and decided to do it first. I wonder if that's because they were trying to change up the narrative of it as far as introducing her character. So that is interesting. Maybe it didn't work with the test audiences with doing her origin story so later in the season.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right. I'm gonna mention some Easter eggs that I found. I took pictures, but guess who did not upload them? Hey, there was a QR code. I went to the QR code, and it was the Savage She-Hulk #1. Did you see the little? I saw some Beanie Babies on her shelf.
Yeah.
I figured like she would have a Beanie Baby of the owl that graduated from law school. I can't remember. My ex used to collect Beanie Babies, so that's the reason why I brought that up. We mentioned the Sakari ship, but it wasn't.
Yeah,
I mean that was everywhere, right? So could be his son, could be the lady that was with oh my gosh, not the Collector, his brother. What's his name? Life Finds a Way. Come on, Amanda. Who's that?
Life Finds a Way. Oh, Jeff Goldblum, you the Grandmaster? Well, yeah. I was curious to see if the Grandmaster, Sakaar. So are we going to see?
Maybe not the Grandmaster, but his
brother?
Yeah. No, the girl, the lady, the woman that was with him.
Oh, Rachel, I don't know what her last name is, but the actress who played him, who's who just hated Tessa Thompson's character.
Right.
Yes.
And then I noticed that she had at his house, there was that Iron Man helmet, but it was the Iron Man helmet from Ultron, Age of Ultron.
Yes, he had that right in his. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I like that, seeing that. And of course, him and Tony, etched their initials into the bar. That was nice.
Yeah, and she mentioned Bing Bong from the stupid.
Well, see, this is talk about some cross promotion. Not only did they do that, but I don't know. So I watched other shows, and I don't know if you guys noticed the amount of Frito-Lay's endorsements that have been thrown into these shows. Like in WandaVision,
thank you, Sarah.
Benny's character is eating like a bag of Lay's. Like it's very prominent and heavy into the frame. She does it like continuously, I think, in WandaVision, and then she does it again and actually offers them to Jane in Thor: Love and Thunder. And then in this one, the whole eating the Cheetos with the which is a Frito-Lay's product, eating the Cheetos with chopsticks thing, like they bring it up multiple times. It's like, wow, that's a good product placement for Frito-Lay's products there. It's like always happening.
Sarah, I thought about you. Did you get to see the announcement of Loki, the god of stories omnibus. I figure that would be one for you. Yeah, the whole chopstick thing with the Cheetos. Nice.
It's genius. Yeah, I could see that.
I hate Professor Hulk, weakest Hulk, and he needs to go. But he might snap, and he might be Savage Hulk at the end of this. We don't know. Oh, it's coming, Sarah. I announced it a couple of days ago. I think it was the one on last Friday, maybe last Tuesday. All right. So, anything else, Amanda, before we give our final score? And everybody that has watched it, no matter whether you hated it, whether you loved it, whether you're middle of the road,
give us a score.
9 out of 10. What would you give it? 9 out of 10? Is that? I'm thinking you're going to give it a 9 out of 10. That's what.
Oh no, I was going to give it more like a 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Okay.
Yeah.
That was actually 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard because I was hoping, honestly, I would have been okay with just a straight up being a lawyer show, and she just, I would have been okay with seeing a flashback later on of how she became the Hulk. But it's fine. We'll get that flashback episode. It has to happen. So
I happen to like it. I don't think I liked it as much as Miss Marvel episode 1.
No,
it definitely has potential for me, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's see here. 6 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Larry really liked it.
Good job,
Larry.
Yes.
7 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10, 7.5, 8. Hard pass out of 10. Eddie, I did not see that.
Eddie.
Dude, if Eddie had given it a 10 out of 10, I would have been like, Eddie had.
But they at least are being very honest, so that's fine.
Yeah, of course. Strong 7 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 5 out of 10. Also not a fan. Well, 50-50. I did give Thor Love and Thunder a really bad score. 8 out of 10 from my buddy David. 9 out of 10 from Riv, and 7. Hard pass from what if Pantera was starring in there, though. Good out of 10 from Tevon. Not Tevon. 9 out of 10. Is 10 out of 10 Nikita Lyons? Is that what we're doing now? I watched first episode twice. I don't usually do that. 9 out of 10. Justin was not a fan. 2 out of 10. 6.5. 7.5. 7.5.
I watch a lot of these more than once, only because I need to for the show.
Yeah, sometimes I got to go back and rewatch some things.
Yeah.
Something. 7.5 and 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Top 3 for me with Loki and WandaVision. Interesting. Charles gives it a 9, 8.5, 9, 6 out of Infinity, 7.5 out of Sarah Greatgar. Lou, how have you been, brother? 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 2. Top bet. 8 out of 10. Kevin is a 7 out of 10. Leonel, 8.5, and Chief says 5 out of 10 for the first episode.
At least we know it could go nowhere else but up.
You guys, it looks like more people ended up enjoying it. Some people, Andrew really loved it. 7, Andrew or Colin liked it. We need to talk about that. Should we split this episode up? You want to split this episode up?
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it. Of course I did. It's one of the top 5 favorite Sandman stories of all time.
Which one? Calliope or Dream of a Thousand Cats?
No, Dream of a Thousand Cats.
Oh,
I love that story. I love that story. I had no idea that David Tennant was in it. I was talking to my buddy Dan yesterday, and we were talking about all the voice actors that were in it. Neil Gaiman was in it.
Yeah.
What?
Well, no, James. A lot of the original people, David Tennant, Michael Sheen, people who are in like the audio drama that they did on Audible. James McAvoy did a voice in it as well. So yeah, there's a lot of noticeable, recognizable actors. Hey, Sarah, why? That were on. Well, I love seeing Arthur Darvill in Calliope playing the writer.
He was good.
It's good to see him turn like instead of being a good guy, kind of being a bad guy. So there we go.
So in case, maybe if we talk about it, we'll split it up in a series.
Yeah, but no,
I emphasis to Omar's leg. New prescription glasses. Do we know what episode Daredevil is going to be in?
So I've seen some reviews. Because a lot of reviewers, not us, because we're not there yet.
Okay.
First 4, and I don't believe that he makes an appearance in the first 4. So maybe episode 5.
I mean, it makes sense, right? He is the other lawyer. I'm so glad they got the whole Daredevil thing straightened out for this episode.
I know.
I'm interested to see the kind of characters that show up here. I'm interested to see what storylines they touch on the show, because that was the fun thing about She-Hulk, right? Yeah. She-Hulk was I'll be honest with you. She-Hulk is a comic you can't take seriously because it just does so many retcons that it's gonna piss you off. So if you stick around, like there's a whole Crisis on Infinite Earths thing, and if you were a real Marvel nerd, you're gonna be like, Marvel doesn't do that. Push your glasses up and go, that's a DC thing. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't take the stories in there seriously. She reads comics to get ideas on how to break a case, not only breaking the fourth wall, but accepting the fact that she's in a comic book. That's the kind of comic that was, and the show is going to reflect on that. So again, I had fun with it, just not to be taken really seriously.
Yeah, Riff has a good question. How do you feel about reviewers getting episodes? When that happened for Moon Knight, a reviewer straight up spoiled future episodes. Yeah, I don't know why they would go ahead and just give out up to 4 episodes, unless they felt like the first episode couldn't stand on its own for the reviewers to give them a fair review. So I am curious about why Disney is releasing to the reviewers like legitimate. I would say legitimate. We are legitimate reviewers.
Hey.
To reviewers who actually like probably pay money to like an association to be reviewers.
What I gotta do? I gotta pay money to
well, I'm fairly certain that's probably what all it takes.
I don't even have an HOA.
Nope. Do you have an HOA? No, neither do I. I don't know. I mean, I wish they wouldn't, because I hate that there are people who will spoil it for the rest of us. Obviously, when you have a Netflix show and everything's dropped at once, that's fine. But in this case, they can talk. If they're a good reviewer, they won't spoil anything for us. But if they're someone who just wants to spoil stuff, then they will. And then that ends up getting around the internet. And someone, unless you just don't get on the internet for the next 4 weeks, you're going to probably see a spoiler. So that is disappointing.
Interesting. Omar, one thing I think could be very interesting is how this Banner Hulk goes from this to a World War Hulk. Something big has to happen for him to get mad, right? Like what could make him snap? Yeah, that would be interesting, especially on a show like this. I can't imagine that character arc happening. Like, what would make him snap on it? Unless they do something with his brain, unless he finds out Natasha is really alive and she's been living with
They're not bringing her back.
You don't know that. Personally, I would love to see the Maestro being logical conclusion to Smart Hulk. Yeah, I would be interested. What I'm interested to see if they bring in like cameos of like Kevin Feige or Ryan Reynolds, or like cameos of all these people that have played parts in making these things, or comic book creators. That would be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Or Deadpool would be actually a funny cameo to have in this, and it would actually make total sense.
I think Jet said too many people calling off for saying bra.
I take it back, Hulk. Please don't snap. Please don't snap. Sorry, man.
I don't think it's gonna. I wonder if it's not a snap thing, but it's more of a. Well, here's another thing I'm interested in. So, given that she's going to be publicly She-Hulk, right, from this point forward,
mm-hmm.
Which I'm assuming they're going to give her the name, right? Because that's how they've been joking about how he was given the name Smart Hulk by the populace. It wasn't really up to him. But my question is, will we see damage control in this? Because they've been trying to find, superheroes who are not, because that Superhero Registration Act is still apparently a thing. So they're looking for those people. They showed up in Spider-Man. They showed up in Ms. Marvel, looking for superhumans with powers. So are we going to see them cameo on She-Hulk for any reasons? I'd be curious.
I'm more curious to see. I'd like to see that, but I'm curious to see what storylines that they're gonna go back to from the movies, like Civil War or Age of Ultron. It would be. I mean, it would be so fun to come. Bring out. You know what I want?
Aaron Zemo? No, he wouldn't be.
No. You know what I want? The atrocity that happened.
That's not gonna happen. We might see War Machine.
You get my boy on the stand and find out what really happened to War Machine and how he became Don Cheadle. I'm never letting it go.
Yeah.
Damage Control miniseries coming out in a few weeks, I think. What? There is?
There is?
Sarah, what do you know that we don't know? Hulk brought 10 out of stop it. No. Since it's a comedy, the Damage Control crew and She-Hulk will be composed of
I know that the Russo brothers aren't directing this, but please, for the love of God, that would be amazing if it was
Right?
them.
I wanted She-Hulk to put him on the stand and ask what happened the next time, man. You promised us the next time, baby. It's in my pool. Oh, I'm sorry. She's talking about the comic. Sarah's talking about the comic.
Oh, okay. It's a comic. Gotcha. I was like, wait, but
I got excited. Amanda's over there clicking away at some where she gets her news from. We got this covered.com.
Yes.
No, she does not. This comic is out next week for Damage Control. Thank you. I want Terrence Howard to show up and explain 1 + 1 not equaling 2. Thank you. Wouldn't that be like I would lose it. If Terrence Howard showed up in a cameo explaining why he's no longer War Machine, I would lose it.
Oh man, he said Infinity War. So speaking of Infinity War, unfortunately, in the all-time highest box office grosses,
Maverick, baby.
Maverick has beat it out. And I'm sad, but also not that sad because Maverick is by far probably going to be my favorite movie of this year. And if it does, like, I know it's not something that would be up for Oscar nominations, but
I liked it.
Bless it should be. You loved it. Whatever. You teared up a lot.
But throw me under the bus, damn it.
You love that movie.
I have some street cred left. I did not tear up at the football team.
Yeah, at the football.
I watched Northman the other night, and I was like, that and that Maverick and what was the one with Michelle Yeoh? That movie,
Everything Everywhere All at Once. Oh,
those are some of my favorite movies this year. Those were excellent.
Yeah, I'll be sad to see if none of those get recognized this year. I know this is way off topic, but yeah.
I think Michelle Yeoh.
She'll get.
I was just glad to see Data back. I love that kid. I know he's not a kid; he's in his 40s now.
I know, but he still looks so young,
and he sounds like him. As soon as he spoke, I was like, "Oh my god, that's Data!" And Short Round.
Yes.
Immediately, I recognize him. Omar, I'm a man, and I teared up at Maverick too. No shit. Thank you, Jet.
Yeah.
Right, all of us guys tearing up at Maverick at the same moment. You didn't want him
to die. Scene, that's what made you tear up. It wasn't.
These beautiful guys.
Oh yeah, Miles Teller. That was good for me.
Man, Tom Cruise had some competition. He's long gone for those days of the volleyball scenes, man.
It's okay.
He still looks good for his. My goodness, how old is that guy? 60 something.
And what made me really happy is that
there's my dude, Data, a granddad now, still being called a kid. Dude, I love that guy. I hadn't seen him in any. Last time I saw the actor was in an episode of Tales from the Crypt in the 90s on HBO. I hadn't seen him in anything.
Yeah.
The unbeatable weight of massive talent. So fun. Yes. Terrence Howard as alternate universe Dr. Doom. Oh my gosh. Where the commandeered Mark II suit and modified it to become. I want him back in War Machine. Aren't we supposed to get Armor Wars? Isn't that a thing too?
Yeah, but remember we talked about that where they haven't announced anything as far as a release date on it, and that's where I was thinking that it might be in the weird in between Phase 4 and Phase 5. We talked about it in our show where I think it's going to be a surprise thing they'll announce later on.
I think all these Disney Plus shows are comedies. I can honestly, I said I was really tired of the whole Marvel
comedy.
Yeah, I've been with me. It's been happening for a few years now, and I'm like, I just want a serious tone movie. That's why
like dark, just serious.
Like Thor had the perfect chance to be a good balanced movie, and they just went full comedy with it, and in just a really weird way. And say what you will about Zack Snyder's Justice League, I thought that was a good balance of. I mean, I don't know. There was just a handful of jokes in it. Everything else was just, superhero fightings. What's going on, dude? I haven't seen you for a while. I hate your name. I love your opinions. I'm just here. I'm happy to see John Cheadle getting his own show.
Yep.
We're gonna replace him with Terrence Howard. Oh, that would be a slap to the face. Doctor Strange should never quit. Doctor Strange should never quit. The Hulk should never quit.
Yeah, there's just certain characters that need to be straight men.
I'm okay with him quipping like puny god. That was funny. I remember
that made sense in the whole form. Yeah.
Not everybody has to be funny. Not everybody has to compete. You have to have that good balance. That's the way the comic books work. Not everybody has to be Spider-Man. I've been saying that for years. Not everybody has to be She-Hulk. She was always funny. So
exactly.
For me personally, I'm
Viking-
fine with serious tone MCU content. I'm hoping they don't see the success of Invincible or The Boys or suggest. I don't think they'll go dark. I do think it's okay to have a show to go dark, though. They can be one of their Blade. I'd like to see a Blade show, kind of like what Guillermo del Toro did with Blade. But I think even that was still PG-13. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was that Blade 2 PG-13 or was it still R?
Oh, I don't know.
I know the first one was R, but I cannot remember if the second one was PG-13 or R.
I mean, IMDb it quick, and I'll tell you, I didn't really see those movies when they came out, so I wouldn't remember Blade 2.
It took you 4 days to get through Justice League. Dude. Even Wong, the straight man, now quips. Everybody quips, man. It's like it's an MCU thing.
It was rated R. Blade 2 was rated R.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I really thought it was PG-13. Armor Wars opening scene shows what happened to Terrence Howard after he said next time. He's going to be an extra in the background. The comedic tone ruined Endgame for me. Well, I think it had that definitely had a balance, right? There were some serious things going on, and then but then there were characters like the Hulk that were like, he's dabbing. What?
And the constant jokes about Thor too were a little much, but
see, that one worked with me. Puny God, after he went all raged out and nobody saw it coming. But then again, that's a very Whedon-esque thing to
it is very Whedon.
That's what he would do, right? Like he was good.
Yeah, I don't think they'll ever. Yeah, I know. I don't think they'll ever go dark because this is Disney too, and they still have to put it on Disney Plus.
Well, I mean, they got rated R shows now on Disney Plus. Logan's on Disney Plus.
But to make to make one of their highest selling franchises that a lot of kids go to, any type of start going that darker tone, that would be hard pill to swallow.
Yeah. Right. Humor via characters in a certain situation, not one-liners at an open mic night. Thank you. I leave that for Spiderman. That was my issue with some, I'm not going to go into this, but some writers that took over Avengers wanted every character to be Spider-Man quippy, and it really got old quick.
Exactly.
Well,
sorry. Ooh, super slicker.
Bert, how are you, my brother? Hope you're doing well. Thank you. Terrence Howard can be the new Black Panther. Let's not get crazy, Paul. And I like Terrence Howard. I hope Shuri becomes Black Panther. We
will not know.
Did we break down I can't remember if we broke down the trailer or not.
We didn't break it down. We talked about it, but the look of that person, a lot of people were saying was very female, like the body. It's hard to tell. They're in a suit unless you can see it from the front side. I mean, I don't know. Captain America has a very nice backside, so it's hard to say.
Where's this conversation going?
I don't know, but
I just keep going back to their mom saying, "I've lost every member of my family." Did we just kill Shuri off in the trailer? Because it feels like we killed Shuri off in the trailer. She said, "I've lost everyone in my family."
Yeah, that is weird. Thinking that maybe she's dead, but she's not. I don't think they would have killed her off. Her drama wasn't that dramatic. The whole vaccination stuff that they'd kill her off. But we'll see.
Oh, okay. Not in the movie. You mean not in the
No, in personal side. Oh, yeah. Because remember that was the big thing. Like they had the delays of filming because of the COVID requirements and her not wanting to get vaccinated. And I know that was a big thing. And blah, blah. Anyways, yes, I don't think that's why. Yeah, maybe she thinks she's dead. We all thought that, technically Chadwick Boseman's character died in Black Panther too, but he came back. The original movie as well. He also died too.
Chadwick Boseman's character in Black
Panther. Remember, they all thought he was dead.
You said Black Panther 2, T-O.
2 as well. Sorry. Instead of the word 2, I should have used the words as well.
People are reminding you that was America's ass.
It is America's ass. Yes.
What's up, Glenn? My guess, that quote from the mom was a past scene during the blip and her family. Ooh, okay. Didn't even think about
interesting.
That's a good one. I will say that had to been a hell of a task as a writer and director when you lose your lead. Yes. And the story has to continue. Because when this first happened, Amanda and I talked about it, and I was like, it's too early to talk about recasting. But I mean, I think it's the story of T'Challa and Black Panther. You almost have to do it right now. Yeah, it's way too insensitive to talk to the family and be like, "Hey, we need to keep going with this movie. Is it okay? If we
Well, that's what happened with Spartacus, right? On
Oh, the
Star.
show, yeah, the guy ended up
Remember?
with cancer, right?
Yes, he ended up with cancer, and he was fantastic. And he was a fantastic Spartacus. And then he passed away. And then the actor who we later see in CW shows, in Flash, he came on to fill I think the last 2 seasons, seasons 3 and 4, I think. Yeah, he did the last 2 seasons, and he did a fine job. And he looked almost near identical to him, minus
I
some body.
remember when that was happening. That was rough, man.
That was rough.
Losing your lead, especially in a big movie like that, and you've got things lined up. I mean, it changes the outcome of storylines. You have
Yeah.
to change things. I assume they already had a Black Panther 2 idea. I don't know if Namor was going to be. Well, no, they hinted at it in Endgame. They hinted at the earthquakes near Wakanda, underwater
Yeah,
earthquakes,
they
right?
did. Yes, they talked about that in Endgame, and then obviously we're gonna see Namor now pop
Another
up.
actor from Spartacus series.
Another
Also,
one.
what? Man.
Wow.
Iron Man will return in the series Ironheart, Fantastic Four, and Secret Wars. You heard it here first. Thank you for that. You think Namor would look better without facial hair? I don't know. That guy
Yeah.
seems really good. I'll be honest, man. Like that guy seems really passionate about this role.
Yes, he
And
does.
yeah, I think we talked about what I thought about the changing of Namor into more of a, I assume, what's Aztec and Mayan type of
Yes.
character. You still have comics. We still get to read them. I've always taken these things, movies and TV shows. They're just different takes on these. They're not the same universe, and it does not take away my enjoyment of the comics. So even if I don't like something from a TV show or movies, I can always go back to my comics. But I will tell you, the comics piss me off too. So sometimes I get mad at both of them. So
Yeah. They can't please everyone, the writers from either medium. It's just how it is.
yeah. Imagine if Heath Ledger never passed away. The Dark Knight Rises would have been a complete.
would be.
Yeah, he was supposed to be a big part of that.
Yeah, it would have been a very different.
Be a big part of that. So I wonder what will happen. What's
Yeah.
going to happen in that particular?
We know we'll get more trailers. Hopefully none that give too much away, but it'll be fun to speculate in the months that come because we're already in August, late of August, and this comes out in November. So we are getting closer than we think to seeing it.
This is interesting. When asked about the Endgame earthquake thing, they said it was just a throwaway line, and writers often just pick up on like that
weird throwaway line.
Yeah, that was a pretty precise throwaway line.
Why is that so weird? Look at that.
Maybe. I don't mind changing races or ethnicities as long as the actor does a good job. I mean, there's definitely like,
oh yeah,
without going to, because that is a completely different topic. But there's definitely people that love these characters, that love who they are, and want them portrayed in the same way they remember them in the comics.
Yeah,
and it doesn't make them racist. Now, I'm not saying that there are not people out there that are saying these things because that's what they really believe. But I get it. There's a huge passion for these things. Yeah, I've been a fan since 35 plus years.
Yeah.
To see my favorite characters on the big screen, yeah, it's great. But I'm like you. As long as they do a good job, it doesn't take away my enjoyment of the comic books. What D-lister do you want to see in She-Hulk? Awesome Andy. Android.
I don't know any good. I don't know off the top of my head any good D-listers, but Awesome Andy sounds like a great
Anybody
choice.
from Next Wave. Captain Fuck. I love that guy.
Oh, that would be interesting. Can they do that?
I don't know. Maybe one day. I'd like to see that. Well, now there is a big difference, right? Like that's that replacing Black Panther with a white actor. There's a reason why that character is black.
It's Black Panther, yeah.
Like it's not that that would be kind of dumb. I can't even go into that argument because that's just ridiculous. I'm excited for Namor and the MCU interpretation. That Black Panther 2 trailer gave me the chills. Man, it was a pretty powerful trailer.
Yeah, maybe tear up a little bit.
Yeah, we do got White Tiger. Represent the Latinos. We do got White Tiger.
Yes,
But
we
nobody
do.
remembers White Tiger, though. Did you guys see the LNT box office? On per country basis, the film has made more than Ragnarok. It's made up for the lack of box office from Russia and Malaysia. Only Chinese box office is missing. LNT.
We're not going to see it, I don't think, in China.
Oh, you don't think so?
No.
Hmm.
China hasn't released pretty much any. I don't even know if they released Spider-Man in China. They haven't
Really?
released. Yeah, they have not released any Marvel
It's
films.
silly to change race and genders of established characters. You don't do that to real people, so why fictional? Let's make Malcolm X movie played by a white guy. Well, now you're talking about a real person, though. That's a historical figure. You're not. Oh, this is a different topic, but
it would be hard for him to speak to what Malcolm X stands for. Like, what he.
Yeah. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit and just say what my daughter learned when reading Silver Age Spider-Man. My, at the time, 12-year-old daughter, we were doing a review of Silver Age Spider-Man, and she was talking about all the kids in the school building.
Yes.
And they were all white kids. And she looked at the camera. This is not me telling her what to say. She's just smart like her mother. She said, what you have to understand is that this is the early 1960s. This is before integration in schools. This is when we had segregated schools. And I will never forget that. And so that's the point, right? Back then, when the writers were writing these characters, it took a lot for Stan Lee and Jack Kirby to write in an African or a black character, with T'Challa.
Yeah.
There weren't that many characters around. So I think a lot of them, if they had to remake it, we live in different times now. So, honestly, I don't remember people taking a huge issue with Samuel L. Jackson playing Nick Fury. Nick Fury all my life has been a white dude. And then comes Mark Miller and he's like, you know what's edgy? Let's make Samuel L. Jackson Nick Fury. And he gave us the Ultimates. And now it could be because people just love Samuel L. Jackson and everything, and he can get to pass. I don't know.
That's the one thing I picked up.
Taking like hating on that.
Yeah.
Omar, forget about the whole race thing with Namor for a second. If he was comic accurate, we would be watching a guy wearing nothing but Speedo the whole movie.
Yeah, that'd be okay with that.
I think Amanda would be okay with that, and most ladies would be okay with that.
Yeah, why not?
Most guys,
I'm sure I'm okay with his outfit now. I mean, he still looks good now.
I like that armor. I like that armor, though. They have done race and gender changes to real people in history.
They have. There's been a lot of shows.
Well, I thought about Hamilton, right? But
Hamilton.
But the importance of somebody like Malcolm X.
Yeah, he was trying to make a statement by changing him, though. That's
right. But I also didn't know. I didn't know if you meant like when Willem Dafoe was playing Jesus and things like that. If that's what we were talking about. Omar, what about Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder?
Okay, that's. What's funny about that is that there is a recent article that came out this week that apparently there is a shelved movie that Jamie Foxx made in 2016, one of his directorial debuts, that will never see the light of day. And he has Robert Downey Jr. playing. What is I forget the ethnicity, but he has him doing he has him like in something. I don't remember what it is. Darn it.
2016?
It was 2016
and it's
been shelved. It never saw the light of day, but he loved what he did in Tropic Thunder. So Jamie Foxx is like, dude, come back and do this for me. And now I don't remember what it is because I've slept since then. I'm going to look it up. If anyone else can remember. Mexican. Thank you guys. Yes.
Oh, a Mexican.
They had him. Yeah. But it never saw the light of day. And it may just be because it wasn't that good of a movie. I think it was like comedy.
What about shelved?
Yes. So he was supposed to be a Mexican, but Jamie Foxx, because he's been promoting that Day Shift movie that came out on Netflix about the vampire hunters. And as he's promoting, he's talking about it. And he said that'll never see the light of day. It would never fly. And I'm like, I don't know. People give RDJ a pass for Thunder all the time because it's like because there's a commentary on what actors do to get into roles, and of course that stuff happened way back when. I mean, it was not like it was just there. It was a good commentary on it. And it was funny. Yeah.
I will say that remember what I said earlier about I don't know what is comedy anymore, if this is considered comedy. I laughed my ass off at Tropic Thunder.
Oh my God, yes.
And I do miss movies like that.
It
And
was very funny.
I have hope movies like that will return and everybody will realize that it's just jokes, and I don't know. But that's just my personal opinion. Really quick, Stan got some pushback when he decided to show the Black Panther unmasked. I remember that. And you remember when Don McGregor was told by the editors that the book needed more white people? The comic book needed more white people. And what did Don McGregor do? By the way, there's a huge misconception. People claim that it's Jack Kirby. It was not. Jack the King Kirby. Rest in peace. Love that guy. But it was Don McGregor. Don McGregor was told by his editors, this comic book needs more white people. So he threw the KKK in there. That's what Don McGregor did.
Yeah, did what they needed to do.
Commentary on the ridiculous over the top. Right. I think that's what.
Exactly. That was the point.
I'm going to go on another topic, but I'm not. This is the last thing I'll say. I think that's part of the point, right? It's like sometimes people miss it. They're not making fun of something. They're making fun of the idiots that think that way.
Yes.
Stupid people. And I think that's what people miss the point a lot of the times. Even The Office, you couldn't have a show like The Office. You can't have a character like Michael Scott these days.
No.
Amanda, did you see our? Oh my God, how did this get green lit?
I said this to Omar. I said, when did this become a thing? And do we know if
how did that get green lit?
And Ryan Reynolds are back for this? So yeah, there was a news article that came out saying that apparently an R.I.P.D. 2 Rise of the Damned movie's been filmed, and it's coming out supposedly a sequel to the, I think it's 2015 movie with Jeff Bridges and and Ryan Reynolds. So two actors who are in demand, and I'm very curious if this is an actual thing or not.
That was a movie. I'm notorious for finishing movies as bad as they are, and that one was pretty bad. It is satire, and the world needs it right now. The world needs Mel Brooks films. One last ride.
No less satire exists anymore.
Please. Glad Blade is played by Mahershala. Yeah, great actor.
Too.
Dang, yes, I'm glad they finally started filming, right? Hulk is extremely underestimated in the movies. In the MCU, we come for many reasons, but for the Hulk, we want to see him booyah, smash. I want to know who is the strongest there is.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see that Hulk come back. We haven't seen him in a while. I mean, they fought, like I said, they did have a fight, but in She-Hulk, but it wasn't, as epic as it probably could have been to see two Hulk go at it, right?
I don't know what the chat's talking about. I'm just clicking here and I see things like this. White Mexicans is true. My cousin's Mexican, has blonde hair and green eyes. My other cousin is redhead and blue eyes. Got it from our Spanish side. Yeah, man.
Yeah, remember the Spanish did go with colonialize over there.
Well, my grandfather, he had blue eyes.
Yeah, I mean, there's always that possibility, guys.
Anything else we got to talk about tonight? We can save Sandman talk for another day. And,
yeah, let's do that because that's a all topic in itself. So no, I think that's everything. We're gonna get off here and probably go watch House of Dragon now.
Yep.
Because I've been waiting to see that.
Hulk smash that boulder in our orbit, or Hulk smash that like button. That would benefit.
Yes, Hulk smash that like button, guys, and we'll definitely be back on by next Friday. Or this Friday. I don't know what we're talking about yet.
We'll get our schedule out. I think. Yeah. I'll talk to you after this. Really quick. Yeah. So, everyone, thank you for staying here. Thank you for putting up with Cowboy Omar at the beginning. He was wired from having to work all day, having a House of Dragons watch party in a bit. Oh, Sarah, can we
have fun, Sarah? That sounds like fun.
But yeah, sign us off, Panda.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And remember to follow us on all of our social media channels at Near Mint Con. Remember to check us out on Spreadshop if you want some great Near Mint Condition merchandise. And also check us out on Patreon to support our channel for $1 a month or more. You get really great benefits. And then remember, guys, if it's classy and cool, it must be Near Mint. Have a good night, everyone, and good journey. We will see you guys soon.
Bye, everybody. What should be the first MCU musical?
Oh, no. I'm surprised.
Better start Kat Dennings. Can we get Kat Dennings in on that, though? That would